Konbanwa, Genki desu ka? Hope you're Genki desu, hope you're well. Good evening and welcome to Tuesday evening. Sorry, excuse me, take my watch off. My clock's not working, so I left that on for a little bit longer than I probably should have done. Not saying that I was rushing around this evening, but I haven't even planned tonight's lesson, so that will come up in the next few minutes. You can come say hello, Holly. Hello. You can say hello to everybody. Anyway, Holly makes an appearance, that's a good thing, isn't it? Okay, right, good evening, welcome. I will say hello to people in a few seconds. But just let everybody get to join the lesson. Oh, hello you. I thought you liked Mummy because Mummy's home. So, Holly's probably going to help me this evening, which is not a bad thing. So, as I've sort of been putting loads of messages on our Facebook page, I do apologise for that, but for me it's the easiest way to connect with the majority of our students quickly and easily. I do appreciate that not everybody's on Facebook, so I've put something on the website as well, but unfortunately that was down from last night until today, but I've sorted that as well. So just trying to communicate as best I can. This Thursday will be the first trial of getting us back into a dojo. Okay, it's not our normal dojo, but it is a dojo, so that's the plan. And we've got classes running from 6 to 9 PM in an hour slot. Okay, I need to work out the logistics, how we're going to get everybody in and out safely so that the two groups don't cross over, or well, you will cross over but not together, if that makes sense. So I'm going to send out full details once I've planned that, and I've been spending the last few days trying to work out in my head how we're going to do this, etc. So I've already got full class for the slot from 6 to 7 on Thursday, and 7 till 8 I think is now fully booked. 8 till 9 I think there's a couple of places still left on that as well. Okay, and that's my mindset, is based on 15 people training safely, 2 meters distancing, and a maximum of 4 instructors. Okay, so at the front of the dojo. I'm not going to ask people to wear face masks. I think it's important that, and the feedback I've had from people that have been training already, is you can't train with a face mask safely. It's quite dangerous, in fact. So you could wear a screen, because obviously you can breathe much easier with those. So that's, if you want to bring one of those, you can do. If you want to bring a face mask, we won't stop you, but we need to keep an eye on you, and you need to keep an eye on yourself. The instructors may wear face masks or screens if they wish to do so, because they will be facing the class. The rest of the class will be facing the front of the dojo, the showman, as per normal. You'll all be having your own area, so your own area to work in safely. Basically, if you've got any kind of symptoms for COVID symptoms, then please don't come. If you're not well at all, just don't come. But if you could let me know, that would be really, really helpful. But as I say, I'm going to send out full plans. I've messaged pretty much everybody that messaged me to say they were keen and interested. If you've not been contacted by me, you need to contact me and let me know. I've messaged everybody back on their original emails, not emails, messages on Facebook. So I've tried to reply to everybody. But there's been so many, which is lovely, that it's been, that I may have made an error on 1 or 2 people. I know I definitely did for a couple. Sorry, Sue and Jack. So hopefully everybody's booked in for Thursday. There's no training at all next week because I need a week off. Not a week off from training, because I'm still going to train, but a week off from doing this and being in the dojo. I'm going away, so just for a couple of days. Well, I hope I'm going away for a couple of days. So that's the plan. So week commencing the 10th of August, we're then looking at 3 dojos on 3 nights. I'm just trying to finalise that just now. I think I've got 2 classes of 6 till 8 on a Tuesday, 2 classes of 6 till 8 on a Wednesday. Okay, so that's 1 6 to 7, 1 7 till 8 on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the Thursday 6 till 9. So that's not dissimilar to what we already offer. In fact, actually I think it's a half an hour more. The dojo in Bibbleswade will be used for the rest of August. Okay, that's the plan. And then we're going to use the Gamlinge Eco Hub for the other two dojos. So that's Tuesdays and Wednesdays evenings. So I've only literally just finalised that. So it's been a bit of I've literally just been phoning around, contacting as many people as I can. Thank you for all your suggestions, because they've been really, really helpful. It's a bit of a logistical nightmare, as you can imagine, trying to resolve and sort all of this out. But we want to do it properly, we want to do it safely, so I think this Thursday will be a good idea, and feedback is important, so if there's anything you think we need to change or do, then please let us know. There'll be hand sanitizer. I've bought a load of hand sanitizer stuff, so pumped action stuff, so you'll be asked to do that when you come into the dojo. You need to have your own kit. Ideally, you need to be changed in your dogi, because I don't think the changing rooms will be open. I'm unclear about spectators at this moment. Okay, I will make a decision on that. But if I have spectators, then I'm probably almost certainly going to insist that you wear a mask. Okay, that's the plans anyway. So let me quickly say hello. I know there's a lot of talking, but that's good because it gives me an opportunity to think about what I'm going to teach you. Good evening, Sensei Tim. Good evening, Sensei Ken and Sensei Sharon. I love all the senseis. They all get in there really quick. Good evening, Alex and Lee. Hope you're well. Good evening, Ewan. Good evening, Ashley. Us, Tim. Good evening. Hope the Huxtable clan is all well. We are very fine and dandy, thank you. Good evening, Harry-san. And thanks, Ashley. You sent me a WhatsApp message. I'm doing karate, so I won't read it just yet. My apologies. Good evening. I'm 2 minutes late. Don't think so. No way. I went from my phone. No chance, Bron. Nice try. You might be 2 minutes different in Potten though, because of the time zone. It's different, isn't it, across the A1? Good evening, Christian and Zach. And good evening, Dylan. So, Dylan. So you're probably one telling me I'm off. Okay, right. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Nice to see you all. And so what we'll do is do a quick warm up as per normal. My clock says it's midnight, so I'm probably either early or late. And what we'll do is we'll do the lesson this evening. I'll give a quick recap of what I've just said in case anyone joins in a bit late, and then I'll post this on the YouTube page as per normal. That's rude, Harry. Please don't put that on our Facebook page. Thank you. Okay, right, us. Okay, so arms forwards. Chi, san, shi, go, rok, sich, hach, ko, and you. And backwards. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, sich, hach, ko, and you. Okay, left arm forwards, right arm back. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, sich, hach, ko, you. And change. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, sich, hach, ko, ju. Okay, arms out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shish, hach, ko, and ju. And cross over back. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, sich, hach, ko, and ju. Okay, shoulders. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shish, hach, ko, and ju. And back. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shish, hach, ko, and ju. Okay, good. So arms should be nice and relaxed now, so just remember, relax your shoulders and just pushing the arms out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shish, hach, ko, ju. And to the sides. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shish, hach, ko, ju. And up. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, shish, hach, ko, and ju. Okay, so forwards, side, and up. Okay, so Shonen, Yoko, Tati, Tati, loose. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, sich, hach, ko, and ju. Okay, just relax. Okay, so hopefully your top of your body's done. So just to kubi your wrists, a hiji your elbows, relaxing and katha your shoulders. Good, good, fun start. Zinkutsudachi. Okay, so just dropping the knee down over the big toe. We don't force the leg anywhere it shouldn't be. Okay, the natural position. So drop the knee above the big toe, or drop the knee over the big toe, and just take the weight out of the back leg. So don't stretch too much, but 70% here, 30% here. Okay, hips at hami, half facing, 45 degrees, and hips shomen, front facing, hami. Shomen, hami, shomen, hami, shomen. Change legs. Again, Zinkutsudachi, feel your stance. Okay, I think when we're beginners we tend to look down a lot. When we're hopefully higher grade adults or juniors, we tend to look more forward. So ideally try to feel your stance rather than looking down. Okay, so again, hips at shomen and hips at hami. So shomen and hami. Shomen, hami, and shomen, and hami. Okay, and Kibarachi stance. Okay, again, Kibarachi, force your knees out, okay? don't do that. Just get your feet into parallel, okay, so like Haikadachi, parallel stance, and then just let your knees drop forwards. So your knees just naturally drop down. Okay, you don't want to be too wide and you don't want to be too narrow, so it's a bit of an in-between stance. And try to get your feet so they are parallel facing forwards, like so. Okay, so just drop down in stance, and straight up, and drop down. So again, centre of gravity, just naturally let the body drop. So again, not forcing. And relax. Shake the legs a little bit, and back down. Yeah, you feel that? You feel that this is much more comfortable, I think, than forcing it down. I was always taught to force down and force out. The problem with that is that it puts the body in an unnatural position, and so therefore doesn't make movement easy. It also makes movement potentially dangerous. Says me after 3 knee surgeries. Okay, so just shaking, and then hips, stay in stance, and straighten the legs. Okay, arms up, over to your left, and arms up, over to the right. Okay, and arms back, and arms forward, arms to the floor. And arms back up. Okay, feet together, high sukadachi. High sukadachi. So hands to your side initially, okay? As the knee comes up, bring the hands up. Okay? As the hands rotate forward, bring the leg back. So we like to call this the Superman, Superwoman, Supergirl, Superboy, Super whoever you are. And see if you can raise your leg higher than your body. And if you can hear scurrying around, it's not rats, it's a dog that looks like a rat, it's Hollyson. My apologies for that. Okay, so again, trying to hear, connecting everything, connecting the body. So, you know I said about linking the knee up with the arms, leaning forwards, the arms and the leg coming out. That's what we're trying to do, make these little connections all the time we can in Shotokan karate. Okay, so again, high sukadachi, left leg up, left arm up, right arm up, together. Maintain your balance, get your form, and then together rotate through. And just hold. And bring the knee up. Whoa! Sensei stuck to the floor there, and then slide back down. Nice. I think it's going to be a warm one this evening. Okay, straighten the gi and your obi. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but in my dojo for the last few weeks, we have 2 Brians now. 2 Brians. Yes. I did have a third, but he died. I mean, got punctured. So, lots of people think that's Sensei Ian, but it's not. It's Sensei Brian. He's one of our dojo mascots. We have a few now, as you're well aware. Okay, so tonight's lesson then. Let's get going. And ready. Us. Okay, ayoi. Okay, so just relax, nice and easy. Left arm out, chokazuki position. Okay, so just come forward a tad. Okay, so and punching. Straight punch to the centre, okay? Paying attention to your shoulder. Hiji, your elbow, so kata. Hiji, elbow, okay? And punching down your embusu, your performance line, down to the centre. Chudan, okay? Breathe in. Looking straight ahead, not down. Just a few things to concentrate on. Ich. Ni, san, shi, go, ro, sich, hach, ko, ju. Okay, and just medium speed, same thing, chokazuki, straight punch. Okay, I was joking about concentrating all those different things. Each time we train, each time you train, you need to concentrate on one thing, okay, just one thing. If you concentrate on several things, you're never going to improve. One thing at a time, okay, so I have focuses for a particular amount of time. So for instance, I worked on my shoulders 2 years ago for about a year. So that was my focus, not anything else, not my stances or anything else. 4 years ago, it was my stances. So we need to apply time, I think, to learn one thing. If we do 10 things in 1 week, it's not going to happen. Brain won't get it. You need to create memory, muscle memory. Okay, so 10 punches, Chudanzuki, medium speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hey, and relax. In weight. Okay, so again, thinking maybe your shoulders. Okay, thinking relax. Just tensing at the end, kime at the end. Okay, so this time fast speed, speed up. Okay, so relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, yeah, hey, radius. Hey, boy. Okay, and again, left arm out, Chokozuki position. Okay, so thinking about the Hikite hand. Okay, so Hikite, H-I-K-I-T-E, is how it's spelled in English, Hikite. Pull back, pull back. Make sure that when we're punching or kicking, we're not just using one part of the body. So we create the Hikite here. This, if you imagine this pulling a piece of rope, and around my camera tripod, okay, or around you, there's a pulley system, and I pull. This connects the two punches together, or the two parts of the body together, rotating around the hips, okay, this sort of way, yeah, and creating speed, So that's what the hips do, they create the speed. We said this analogy before, the hammer of the gun, okay, that's what creates the speed of the bullet. The hammer hits the bullet, fires the bullet out, creates the speed. Without the hammer, there's no bullet, it just falls out the barrel. You're not going to get hurt by that, by the way. So it's the hips are really, really important here. So as we punch, now higher grades, you can give a bit of hip onto this if you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, juniors, I'm not going to tell you about it, but higher grades, you do know about the hip of the Chokozuki. Okay, so this time though we change from 1 punch to 2 punches, so knee down zuki every time we punch. Okay, so again, Chokozuki position here, and just so speed. 1. Oh, we're joined by the dog going crazy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, yummy. Hey, kiotsuke. Hey, yui. Always remember to return to yui. Okay, until an instructor says yame, okay, and finish, enoi, relax, okay, then we should always come back to yui position, ready to go again. I used to have a sensei years ago, very famous. She never said yui. She's never said yame, I think. She just said yui. Basically, we never breasted. It was just for an hour of solid lesson, and it was really, really good from a cardiovascular perspective. Kept us fit, that's for sure. Okay, so again, left arm out. This time medium speed. Okay, double punch, knee down zuki. Knee down means 2 times, of course. Okay, so medium speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, yame. And boss. Hey, hey, yui. Okay, so again, when we're doing this, we're trying to get both punches centre, okay, and hikite working together. Much harder to use the hip at the moment in a static position, which we're going to change shortly. Okay, but you can still use a hip when you're punching. Okay, you just do the opposite hip to the punch, if that makes sense. Again, higher grade stuff, don't worry too much about that if you're a lower grade student. Just enjoy the punching. Enjoy the punching. Okay, so now full speed. Now when we say full speed, it doesn't mean go like so. It will be fast speed for the techniques. So you can go bang, bang, and in a long pause, bang, bang, and a long pause. That's better than it is to rush techniques, because generally when we rush, we're generally not very good. And we lose our form. And if we lose our form when we're doing kihon basics, when we come to doing anything else like kata and kumite, it will be shocking. Okay, it just falls apart. So we are starting with the kion, the basics, because that creates our form, and then our form builds and gets stronger. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so this time full speed, okay, or as fast as you're comfortable going. Left arm out again, straight position here, chokozuki. Okay, so double punch still, don't go too many. And ich. And make sure both punches finish. 1, 2, same point, not short. 1, 2. Ni. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Hey, yeah, mate. I'm ready. Hey, oi. And enoi, relax. Us, Holly-san. Hello. Hello. Thank you for watching. You want to join in? You want to join in? Okay. There's nothing weirder than doing punches and the dog just sitting there, out of camera view, staring at you. Staring at you like it wants something. But I think you just want to do karate, don't you, tonight? Okay, good. Very good, everybody. Right. Us. Okay, anyway. So, we won't do 7 forward just yet because I shall end up killing the dog. Oh no, she's going. And so now we move to same technique, sanbon. Okay, sanbon. So, or sanren. Sanbon, sanren, same thing, similar thing. So now 3 punches. Okay, but this time we're going to change the height of one of the punches. So we'll do punch number 1, like a Kizamazuki Jodan, and double Chokozuki Chudan. Okay, so punch to the face, 2 punches to the stomach. Okay, punch to the face. So when we do the Kizamazuki, you can generally pull your hip back to hand me. Okay, then you can squeeze your 2 punches there. So that's what we're going to aim to do now. So again, we'll do slow, medium, fast, 10 punches on each. Okay, so us, left arm out. So nice and slow, just take your time, drop your shoulders, relax into the punches. But get the height and get the correct line. Not here or here, straight down the centre. So each, that's my Jodan, it's my chin. Ni, san. Ich, ni, even. Ich, ni. 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. And when you start to think about all of the elements that are required to do 1 punch, you probably come up to 20 different things. As soon as you put 2 punches in, you double that. You put 3 punches in, you triple that. So potentially, if you come up with 20 things for 1 punch, you come up with 60 things for 3. It's a lot of things to think about. I can't do that. So better to just focus on 1 element only. Okay, so that might be your front punch to the chin. Make sure you get the correct height. As I said at the beginning of the lesson, just concentrate on 1 thing only. Don't overdo it, don't overcomplicate things. If it doesn't feel right, then maybe just have a sort of change about focusing on something different. So maybe you're breathing. Okay, I'm struggling with breathing at the moment because I've got a blocked nose. But that's the thing. You've got to make sure that you focus on just 1 thing that you can potentially change, adapt, or improve on in each lesson. That's what we're trying to do all the time. Okay, so let's do sanbon or sanrenzuki 3 times. Okay, 3 punches. Jodan, double Chudan, medium speed. So left arm out. The dog is going to probably bark in a second, but she's going to have to wait. Okay, so medium speed. Ich. Ni. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Hey, you mate. Right, us. Hey, okay, anyway, relax. While I let the dog out. Outside. Outside. Holly. Us. Never work with dogs or any other form of animal if you're doing a live show. Okay, so it's quite warm in my kitchen. I don't know what it's like where you are, but I'm not complaining. Okay, so let's quickly say those people before we do that full speed. Oh, Swain, good evening. Hope you're well. Oh, good evening, Kerry. Hope Max is okay and he's watching. Very cute rat. Yes. Also, Andy Sensei. Hope you're well. Maybe my dog is thinking, I am not afraid of you. Why would my dog be afraid of me? I love it. Okay, Yoi. Okay, so now full speed. Okay, now if you did what I did on the very first of that combination, that last combination, and completely messed the timing up, it happens. Okay, so I don't know where my mind was, but it wasn't the correct place. So think Jodan, Chudan, Chudan. Yeah, so when I breathe in this particular one, I do almost a half breath here on the Jodan, and I do almost 2 half breaths on the Chudan, which still leaves 10% in the tank for me, okay, to do my other techniques. So I've no idea what that works out in percentages, but if we work out a roughly 25% of the breath, maybe a bit more than that, 28% of the breath on 1, 2, 3, and then the rest of it on leaving it in the tank, as it were, then that's not a bad thing to think of. Okay, I can't explain that so easily over the wave format that we're doing. You could probably hear me. So using the breath, one breath only to complete the 3 techniques, because otherwise it's too slow. So we can't do that. You could do 1 full breath and then 2 half breaths for the other one, but I tend to, as a higher grade, tend to use 1 breath for all 3 techniques, but committing just a certain percentage of breath each time, leaving a small bit in the tank in case somebody happens to reverse punch you. So you can still go and tense your tummy. Yeah, if you can't tense your tummy on a Gyakuzuki, then you're in trouble. So let's go full speed. Okay, so remember Sanmonzuki or Sanrenzuki. Okay, so 3 punches, 1 to the chin, 2 to the stomach. Centre line, find your Wengusun, what is correct for you. Okay, remember I'm doing it to a camera, which is always really weird. You just got an imaginary opponent in front of you, maybe me. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so ich, and relax those shoulders. Ni, san, shi, go, rok, sich, hach, ko, ju, iya. Hey, yummy. Hey, let's go, yours. Hey, ayoi. Alright, yours, relax. Okay, deep breath in through the nose, if you can. And out. In through the nose. And out. Into the nose. And out. What you're doing there is refueling your body. Okay, hopefully you've had possibly food or water before the lesson. You may be quite thirsty, okay, or maybe even a bit hungry when you come to class. But really, if you drink plenty and eat plenty, okay, then the only thing you're going to get tired from is not having enough oxygen in your body. So important to take in as much as you can. Now, I'm struggling because I've got a blocked nose, but that's really important that you are able to draw in that oxygen, that it comes through the body. That gives you the energy to carry on, to continue, etc. Obviously, if you come in completely empty with no fuel whatsoever, so no water and no food, then oxygen is going to be the least of your worries. You may faint for other reasons. Okay, so it's important to make sure we have hydration, make sure we're fed well, and then breathe correctly as much as possible with karate. Trouble is with hay fever and various other different things, and allergies, etc. Then and colds. It's difficult to do that sometimes. So again, you adapt. You don't train as hard. You train differently all the time. Okay, os. Okay, yoi. Okay, left arm out. So this time, one punch. Ich. Two punches. Ich. Three punches. Ich. One punch. Ich. Two punches. Three punches. One. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Hey, hey, right, os. Hey, oi. Alex, os. Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, right, os. That's the warm-up done for tonight. Okay, so stepping forwards. Excuse me. In. In. What have you got? You've got a bone, that's good. Might keep happy for a few minutes. Okay, so right, os. And you wait. And step forward, get down right. Ich. Okay, so let's work this out. Stance first of all. Turn head, feel. Just feel. Feel where you are with your stance. Okay, hips showman. Hips hand me. Hips showman. Hips hand me. Hips showman. Hips hand me. Oh, it's going to be a great night. Left arm out. Okay, left arm out. So we're going to punch Gyakuzuki, reverse punch. Hips showman, finish. Hand me to start those. So right hip back, left arm out. Okay. Don't need to worry about the stance once you're in it. So just hold it, pull your hip back. Okay, hand me position. So nice and slow. Each. No shoulder. Sink hips down. And push back out. And knee. And back out. Sun. And back. Sheep. And back. Go, follow the punch with the hip. If anything, the hip works first to push the punch out. Sich. Hutch. Cool. Eiju. Here. Okay, change stance. Again, don't look down, just feel feels natural. Okay. Hips at showman. Hips at hammy. Showman. And hammy. So showman means front, hammy means half facing. Okay, so in our heads 45 degrees. Okay. Just conscious of the dog's just come around my legs, so make sure I don't move and tread on a kick or puncher. As tempting as that might be this evening. Okay, so left arm, hidari, one. Okay, so punching again, Gyakuzuki. So think about the hip delivering the punch. I hope you can feel the difference. Okay, in fact, what we'll do is we'll show you the difference in a second. So let's do 10 punches. You stay there. Sit. Good girl. Okay, so ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, sich, hutch, cool, and kiaiju. Okay, so hopefully you're connecting the two, connecting them nice and strong. Okay, change legs. So hip showman, left arm out, hip showman, one. Hip hand me. Feel the difference. Showman, hand me. Showman, hand me. shonen, hammy, shonen, hammy, and yami. Okay, horse. Now hopefully you can feel the difference. Okay, and if you are not able to draw your hip back maybe as much as I am, in the way I'm going to show you in a second, then almost certainly it's down to the position of the back foot. So if I kind of use my hands to sort of show you my feet, doesn't make sense, but okay, front foot, back foot like this, so in other words, more of a 90-degree angle to our front foot, so our front foot is straight forward to a 90-degree angle. Here, hip can't engage. You can't make this connect. Hip just sticks. Turn the foot forwards, same angle as the front facing foot, as much as you can. Hip is able to move. Okay, I can just hopefully show you this now. I've done this for a while, juniors. Remember my pirate lessons? Hey, so we're going to make ourselves into a pirate, put a belt on our hip, rawr, pieces of 8 type thing. Okay, so from this position here, left arm out. Okay, I'm hoping I can get all this in. I might move back a bit. Got a very patient little doggy that's sitting right between my feet. It's good. So hip shonen. Okay, so you won't see the belt move. Hip shonen. I mean, it's strong enough, but I'm using my arm. Now I'm using my arm and it's pretty much isolating my arm. I'm not really using anything else. Possibly better shoulder, but I don't want to be using my shoulder. We've said this before. Okay, so what we want to make sure, not hips here. Okay, watch the hip now. Okay, now I'm going to kind of wait until I can see this on camera because I want to see, yeah, it does show it. So hip there, and then draw the hip back, sensei. Oh, look at that, it's amazing, isn't it? So hip in. Okay, so sitting right on top of my hip bone. Okay, the obi knot. Okay, and so you hopefully now seen a massive difference. Yeah, anything between 4, 8, 9 inches can be improved on in terms of not just distance, but creates more space for speed. That's a better way of thinking of it. The scientist, Christian Sensei, will tell us what we mean. But basically, the hip back, you can create more speed because you've got more run. Okay, more chance to create speed. So hip here, yeah, shorter punch, much shorter. Hip back, hand me, stronger, faster. Because the hip, as I said before, is the hammer. The hip is the hammer. So that's what we're trying to do. So I'm trying to do a nice short stance for you so I can fit in frame. So just change legs, okay? So again, just change the belt round. I'm hoping everybody else's obis have shrunk during the COVID period. Mine has, definitely. So here, right arm out, shorter punch, hand me, longer punch. I think it's self-explanatory when you see this now. Okay, so short punch, no hip, hip, longer, stronger, faster, better, altogether much better, okay? Because we're not just engaging the arm, we're engaging not just the hip, we're not engaging just the leg, we're engaging the body. Okay, so biomechanically the body's made up of bones primarily, okay, and then beyond that, muscles, tendons, ligaments, nerves, arteries, veins, blood vessels. God, I could go through on for days, okay? But it's about connecting all of that together and making it as strong as possible. Now, the human body is ridiculously strong, okay? Yes, it breaks at a point, and I've proven that many times with breaking bones. But the reason they're broken is the angle and stress I've put upon them, okay? And all of mine have been through either sport injuries or doing something stupid as a youngster. So, but the body done correctly is incredibly strong, and that's why martial artists can break through brick walls, literally, and can break huge big pieces of wood and stuff like that. It's just connecting the body correct at the right time. If you take a disconnect from that though, you can cause yourself injury, which I have done, unfortunately. So, you know, it's about getting that mindset right and thinking there's a correct way of doing this and I need to do it that correct way. So the correct way of punching Gyakuzuki is not this. For a beginner, yes. For people going beyond green belt, no. Using the hip to create more strength, more power. Okay. So back to front stance then. Ioi, and step forward, give Ambarai command. Each. Okay, so Gyakuzuki. Put my belt back. Just realised I'm still looking like a pirate. So, excuse me. So Gyakuzuki. So we're going to connect a couple of techniques together here. So hips, currently at Hanmi, Shonen as the punch goes in. Then change to Agyuki now. Hips at Hanmi, punch again. Hips at Shonen. Again Agyuki. Hips at Hanmi. And you will feel that this works together now. Punch and block. Much stronger. Yeah, connections. Strong, strong. Because of the hip. Yeah, because of this bit. Not because of this. Not because of this or this. Because of this. This whole thing. Change legs. So again, good to start with the Gyakuzuki positions. The hips at Shonen. Okay, watch the bell. Watch the obi. If you're not sure, yeah. Joy position. Here. See where the obi knot is now. It's moved completely. And then see where it comes back to. I hope that makes sense. Boss, change legs. Okay, so again, Gyakuzuki start. Yoi position for Agyuki, each. はい、Gyakuzuki knee. Soto Ryuki each. Hips are hammy, remember? Gyakuzuki ish. Okay, change legs. Gyakuzuki position. Each. Ni. San. Shi. And change legs. Gyakuzuki position. Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rock. Good. Change legs. Shonen. Hami. Shonen. Hami. The smart one, smart people amongst you, that's Christian Sensei and not the rest of us, will have worked out that ever since we started this in March, this has been the primary focus. And this. They're the only two things, really. In fact, pretty much every lesson we've been focusing on Hami and Shonen, understanding, and using the shoulders less, so bringing the shoulders up and down. That's been it since March. So March, April, May, June, July, 5 months, potentially 20 lessons, maybe a bit more actually for some of you. So that's twice a week actually, so quite a lot of lessons with that just being our sole focus. Or should I say mine? Maybe mine, because I'm focusing on it and I'm teaching and delivering those lessons to you to get you to focus on it, just to concentrate on one thing. Subliminally, maybe, just going on about it every week, and that is a bit more in your face, isn't it? But you will hopefully have picked up the difference. Okay, so let's again. So left side this time. So each, ni, san, shi, go, ro. Okay, change legs. You're a very good girl, Holly. She's just sitting out of camera shot now, just watching. It's good. Okay, so Gyakuzuki position, hip shown. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, ro, sich, hachi. Change legs. Gyakuzuki position, hips at shonen. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go, ro, sich, hachi. Hey, Emery. Hey, anyway. Good. Okay. Hope you're getting a sweat on and perspiring as much as me. Okay. So these connections that we're making within our body are the basis of everything we do in Shotokan. Okay, and understanding why we're making those connections is the kind of next level. Why do we do what we do? Well, we don't do it to make it look pretty, we don't make it to look good. Well, we do to a point, but we do it to make it effective. And if we don't practice these different elements, then our karate isn't looking good, it doesn't look great, and it isn't effective at all. It's pretty simple, which is probably why I've stuck at it for so long. Certainly from a concept perspective, I say that now after 30 years. Maybe I didn't think that to start with. I don't know. Okay, us. And right, us. There you go. Okay, so I think that's enough ki-on for this evening. So let's quickly do a kata. Okay, so going to be tight for space, but I think we can do it. Us. Okay, so make sure you're not going to kick anything around you. Okay, and if I have to shuffle, I'll tell you I'm shuffling, but we'll do one move, one count, and we'll do the kata he and ni dan. He and ni dan. Us. Okay, and ready. Us. How you doing? He and ni dan. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 shuffle 10 yeah 1 oh that's the beat 2 3 4 5 squeezing here, yeah? Walk, kick and punch. 6 just shuffling back slightly. 8 9 10 11 12 はい、13 here! Hiya mate. And ready, us. Okay, so why choose that kata? So think of the hips now, think of where we were at the beginning of the lesson, okay, in terms of connecting techniques together and thinking of our hips. So thinking from a hip perspective, okay, hip perspective. Here and down, hips shown, hips shown. Now, what position is this? Because this is Kakutsadachi. My back hip here, I would say if anything, it's more hammy type feeling. But then, hip is definitely going in for the Yorozuki, yeah, and then definitely hip out for the Tetsuri. Now the stance doesn't change, I'm still in Kakutsadachi, but I've got movement in my hip, okay, not much, but enough to gain that. Here, see, other way, so again here, hip back. Think of that hip going in here and pulling it back here. So there is movement in the hips, sometimes in the smallest ways. But this connection is really, really important to get this punch more powerful. This punch is more powerful when you put your hip in. It's just a fact. So here, this position here. Come up here, okay, Koshi Kamai position here, hip here, hip shown, not hammy. Hip shown. Connection here. Hip again back. for Shuto. So when we come Shuto, the hip is coming back. Shuto's hip back. Hip back. What's? Osayuki. Shonen. Shonen. Kyo point here. Turn, I'm going to hit the bin again, excuse me. That bin is the vein of my life actually. So here, again, hip, hip back, hip back. Hip back. Hip back. Now, move back slightly. Hip back, here, hip back. Watch the hip now. This is a really big pull. Okay, so this is Gyaku Uchuki, and you look at the hip here. The hip is driven in as we pull Higite. It's much more of a obvious connection. Okay, the Shuto more subtle. But this is not subtle. This is hip in your face. Okay, so hip in. Watch. So hip in here. Kick Maegeri. Okay. So hips in. Kick straight. Hip is drawn. Hip is drawn mid kick. Almost back to deliver the Gyakuzuki. So again, I'll show you Shonen facing front. Hip in, hip in. Kick Maegeri, hip square. Kick hip. But as we draw down, the hip almost comes back. Reconnects. Reconnects. So rocking here. Kick, hips Shonen. Kick Shonen. And then draw the hip back before you set down. And then deliver the Gyakuzuki. Again, not in your face, very subtle. Delivered on impact. Deliver on impact. So as the foot touches down, the hip pushes the punch out at full speed. I hope that's coming across okay. I'm going to show you again from this side, this angle, without trying to kick the oak table, but here we go. So here, hip in, square, Shonen. Okay. Maegeri here, and then Gyakuzuki. So the hip draws back ever so slightly to land the Gyakuzuki. If you don't do that, hip Shonen, you can connect the hip slightly by drawing it, by pushing it through this way, but you don't get the same, I don't get the same feeling of power. So that's the bit that I'd like to make a point about is how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? There's a definite difference, and I think hopefully if you've been working like me on your hips tonight, you will feel the difference of when you're engaging your hips and when you're not. Whether your hips are hanging, whether it's showing, makes a difference, but you will notice the difference when they start to move. Of course, if you are a person that struggles with your hips, struggles to use them, then you're going to find this lesson very frustrating. I apologise for that, but I don't in some respects because I was you. Many years ago when I was a third Q, my training evolved. Sensei asked me to use my hips more. The more I tried to use them, the harder it got, the more pain I had, and to the point where I almost gave up karate because I was not sleeping. I was training so much, 4 or 5 nights a week, and I was getting so much pain from my hips. What I was doing was forcing them in places and positions they shouldn't go in. So again, we need to go back to what is right for you. Okay? But everybody can use their hips. I've even seen somebody train with 2 hip replacements and they could use their hips. It's just about how you control your biomechanical chain, okay, and how you understand it. So yeah, so do what you can do, not necessarily what I'm doing. Don't try and copy the higher grades. Don't try and copy the sensei necessarily. Do what you can do to your ability, because we're all different abilities. I've taught students that are way better than me. But actually, you know, from a technical perspective, they leave me down here and they're up here. You can still teach them. You can still teach them. we go to our own ability, whereas understanding is more important. I think that makes sense. So this particular part of the kata I think is really interesting. So the hip is definitely engaged here. Okay, so shomen. Kick maigeri, still shomen. Still maigeri shomen. Draw the hip back ever so slightly. So this is more about timing than anything else. Okay, so I'll continue with the kata now. So after the fourth shuto, so uchuki here, hip in, kick, and back. Then watch again. Uchuki here. The hip is pushed in again. Hip again, hip again. Augmented block, hip in, hip shown, okay? Hip shown. So for the last position then, I'm going to make room for this so I can do it correctly. Turn, gidamburai, hammy. Yeah, feeling of power. Agyuki, hammy. Gidamburai, hammy. Connection. Not here. No, hips doing nothing. Hammy. Hip here. Hip shomen. Yoi position, shomen, hammy. Yoi position, shomen, hammy. Yoi position, here. Hope that has made some sense. So I hope you have seen from what we've done from the Kion perspective, the very simple basics that we did at the beginning of the lesson were just chokuzukis, okay? And just starting to think, not really use, but think about our hips. That was the basis of that part of the lesson. Then starting the Gyakuzuki technique, where we're starting to use the hips and understanding why we're using them. Okay, then involving the blocks, okay? And the reason for involving the blocks is that we use a good majority of those blocks in that kata. So hopefully that has brought the whole lesson round together. And that's what I try to do when I teach as much as possible. Is start here, yeah, and cross over and come back to here, yeah. So it's a circle, but it's not two halves. Yeah, everything comes back to here. That's my intention. That's what happens in my head. But I don't know how it comes across with anybody else, if I'm perfectly honest. But that's the intention. So quite often in a book writer, writers will write a book and there'll be a moral of the story. Okay, I have a reason for what we do, and hopefully my job is to get that across to you through these lessons. Okay, so we'll finish the lesson there, and because it's 8 o'clock. So just a very quick recap about Thursday. Okay, so there'll be no lesson here in my dojo because we're going to be in a dojo, okay, from 6 to 9 p.m. We've got 3 classes of just under an hour each, okay, so there'll be about 55 minutes each, so we have a crossover point, which is not dissimilar to what we'd normally have. You should know, if you're coming, that what lesson you're coming to. Please can you make sure you're there promptly, okay, please don't arrive too late because it's going to cause problems, particularly in crossover points. So, you know, if you're a little bit late to class 1, that's fine. But if you're late to class 2, you're going to cause problems. So if it kind of has a knock-on effect. I hope you don't mind me just pointing that out. So your ability to get there would be great. If you're not coming, please let me know because I've got a waiting list. This is a trial. It's not a long-term thing at this moment in time. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to get some feedback. We're going to make sure everybody feels comfortable and safe. And if they don't, then we're going to figure out what to do next time. And that may even change between those 3 lessons. So it's a new world, okay, so we've got to get used to it, you've got to get used to it as students of karate, so you know, it's really important. I'm going to send out more details on the Facebook page tomorrow, and possibly a bit more on Thursday, but I look forward to hopefully seeing those people that have said they're coming on Thursday. I look forward to seeing you in the dojo. I'm sorry I can't do it in the kitchen on Thursday as well, because I can't be in 2 places at once as much as I'd like to. How this goes forward, I don't know, because next week I'm off. Okay, so there's no karate next week at all, so everybody can have a week's rest. I definitely need it. And then the week after we are looking at three dojos, or 3 nights. Okay, 2 nights at Gamingo, the Eco Hub, and then 1 night at Biggleswade. at the recreation centre, which is linked to my school, so at Stratton Upper School. Okay, so that's the plan moving forward for August. I can't tell you beyond September. I do know that the Pot and Dojo is out of action till at least November, so I'm going to try and see if we can get the Eco Hub. The only problem is the Eco Hub is not available in September any other night apart from Wednesday, which is our Sandy Dojo night. But if the Sandy Dojo remains closed, we'll use the Eco Hub. So at least we've got some way to get us back in the dojo together. So hopefully that's going to continue, and if all goes well this Thursday. But if it doesn't, then we'll continue online. It's as simple as that. Hope that's okay. Okay, right, we'll finish the lesson with the Dojo-kun and say our goodbyes and finish there. So straight to the gi, maybe. Okay, ready? Dojo-kun. Hitotsu jinkanku kansei ni surumoto koto. Hitotsu makato no michi o muru koto. Hitotsu doryoku no seishin yashinao koto. Hitotsu reigo o monjo o koto. Hitotsu keki no yo imashimoru koto. And right. Just going to say goodbye to a few people. Good evening. I hope that was Harry and maybe possibly even Charlotte watching Emma. That'd be cool. Good evening, Robot Sensei. Sensei, I'm a bit late to the party. No, you're not. It's been great. It's been brilliant. Andy, Tim, and you. Thank you, young man. I will try to have a nice holiday if I get where I want to go. But we'll see. We'll see. You'll find out. Okay, Kyosuke, then we'll finish there. Shori rei os. Oisumisai arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much for joining us in the dojo. I'm hoping this will be the last one and we can get back to face, but who knows, might very well see you online again at some point in the future. Please keep an eye on our YouTube page. I'm still putting up lessons on there. I'll put this one on there as well. And if there's any way I can video our live lessons, as in back in the dojo, and put them on the Facebook page, then I might do that. But I do not want to involve other people with that, so it would just be watching the instructors teach. We'll see. I don't know if I can do that. Finish there. Us. See you soon.